A judge just sided with Trump in Minneapolis responded by tearing open federal vehicles, stealing weapons, and now the Insurrection Act is on the table. I'm telling y'all don't want to leave this one. This isn't a protest story. This is a control story. And Minnesota just lost it. Now, this is where, it all changes right here with this tweet or True Social post, rather, from our guy Trump. I'm trying to see if we can get it on a bigger screen for y'all. Okay, I'm just going to read it out for y'all, though. So it says here, a highly respected judge declined to block ICE operations in a very politically corrupt state of Minnesota. ICE will therefore be allowed to continue its highly successful operation of removing some of the most violent and vicious criminals anywhere in the world, many of them murderers from the state. The great patriots of law enforcement will continue to make the country safe. Record low crime numbers. Yeah, man, a federal judge looks at Minnesota and says, no, you don't get to block federal enforcement. And notice what didn't happen here. There's no type of panic. My guy didn't have a whole lot of words in caps, just a couple at the end. Just the system working, basically, exactly how it was designed to. But here's the part nobody on the left ever wants to talk about. I want you to watch what happens immediately after the ruling.
Oh, what the hell? Oh, shit. Bro, you're not arrest warrant. Hey, take these bitches to the news.
Yep. Riders ripping open. Rip open the locker from the federal vehicle here. I want y'all to let that sink in because this is not symbolism. That's definitely not mostly peaceful, I'm seeing. That's people stealing federal weapons while police stand down. Information, rather. This is what happens when law enforcement is treated like the enemy long enough. Eventually, a mob, will take the invitation. And if you think this is random chaos, it wasn't.
Hey, listen, I'll tell y'all now, they on the Snapchat, so they gonna be on y'all ass if y'all recording this. They gonna be on your ass. They gonna be on your ass. Your ass is a witness. Hey, don't hit them. We finna break that bitch.
Please don't. Don't fuck with Minneapolis. They got the motherfucking thing.
Put a switch on the back of that bitch.
Hey, listen. Back up. Stop.
Watch out. Be careful.
That shit sounds empty, man.
Oh, you doing okay, man?
I'm okay. How are you? Dude, there's nothing in there.
There could be coins in there.
Wow. Federal documents, arrest warrants, names, addresses. Camera, can you come back to me, please? Thank you. But that's not a protest right there that I just seen. That's exposure. And the left knows exactly what that leads to. They call this accountability. But they never explain who pays the price. So let's talk about where this energy is coming from.
Tonight, I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution. Tonight, I want to share another way you can help.
Wow. Now, this is the quiet part. When the governor tells citizens to film federal agents and build a database. I mean, look at the language here. That's not oversight. It's quite literally targeting. You don't have to tell people to riot. You just have to tell them who the enemy is. That's the point. And once you do that, seriously, once you do that, the threats don't stay theoretical.
Well, absolutely. Look, the agitators, what have they accomplished? They've accomplished nothing. We're still doing our job. We're out there last night. We're out there today. We're going to be out there every day. And we're adding more resources, more law enforcement officers to that city. And one of the parts of that increase in officers to that city is to arrest the people who cross that line, people who violate 18 U.S.C. 111, interference, impeding, assaulting. We're going to have a team of people there who's going to concentrate on that. So we're going to continue arresting those agitators, and I'm pushing hard. Let's post agitators on TV. Let's announce every day who's been arrested for interfering and impeding with our officers. Look, this is a dangerous job. It's always has been a dangerous job. I've done this for a long time, but the hateful rhetoric from people like the mayor and the governor and members of Congress, I said back in March, Harris, I think it was on your show, if the hateful rhetoric doesn't decrease, there's going to be bloodshed. Right. And unfortunately, I was right. And I'm telling you here today, it's not over. Now the rhetoric is even tripled. Now they're saying they're murderers. They went beyond Nazis and secret police. Now they're saying he's murdering people. Death threats against me alone have tripled. I mean, I had one yesterday, which is a little different. They don't want to kill me. They want to kill my family. No. You know, tear my soul out so I suffer the rest of my life. These people are unhinged. But they need to know we're going to keep doing this job because we're arresting the worst of the worst. And are we arresting illegal aliens with no criminal history? We absolutely are. If we find them looking for these targets, they're going to be arrested. If the mayor
because
and the
they are here illegally.
Yeah, if they want less of us in the street, then let us in the damn jail where we can arrest a public safety threat and the safety and security of the jail. You release them in the street, that forces us into the street to do this.
Now, let me apologize for the graphics. I'm not sure what's happening right now. That clip was quite clearer than that before. But listen carefully. They're not threatening him. They're threatening his family. This is what rhetoric turns into when it's repeated long enough by politicians who never face the consequences. The left loves to say words don't matter until the damage is already done. And that's when Trump has to draw the line. He writes, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators, the insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act with many presidents. Look, I done fumbled the plan on reading this, y'all. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to start over. If the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act, which many presidents have done before me, and quickly put an end to the travesty that is taking place in that once great state. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT. Yeah, I feel horrible about how I just read that. But I'm not horrible enough not to post it. Because you know what? And this isn't like a tweet for engagement right here. This is the Constitution reminding Minnesota who's actually in charge when order collapses. That's all I'm saying. And notice how fast the tone changes once consequences enter the room. Now, watch local leaders try to walk it back.
And for anyone that is taking the bait tonight, stop. That is not helpful. Go home. We cannot counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos. And I have seen thousands of people throughout our city peacefully protesting. For those that have peacefully protested, I applaud you. For those that are taking the bait, you are not helping, and you are not helping the undocumented immigrants in our city. You are not helping the people that call this place home. And for
wow. This right here, kings and queens, is called the cleanup phase. Let me explain. After the fires are lit, after the vehicles are looted, after all the threats done rolled in, now they want calm. Now they want calm. Yeah, man. Leadership isn't what you say after things break. It's what you prevent before they do. And while they're asking for the calm, the DOJ is doing something totally different.
In Minnesota. What happened in Minnesota? We had 6 prosecutors who suddenly decided they didn't want to support the men and women in ICE. One of them was busy doing a photo shoot with the New York Times while ICE was out there risking their lives. So they came, they said, we want to resign, but we want to use our annual leave up until April, meaning they wanted the taxpayers to pay for them to go on vacation because they decided they didn't want to support law enforcement. So the breaking news tonight, I fired them all. They're fired from the office. And our U.S. attorney there, Rosen, he's great. He was just confirmed 3 months in Minnesota. What happened in Minnesota? We had 6 prosecutors who...
Hey, what happens in Minnesota obviously does not stay in Minnesota. That is accountability. What? Come on now. I ain't gonna lie to Pam Bondi, Capital. We need some... We all know a lot about Tim Walz and Nilheim. We need some arrests. All this is... Now, when prosecutors, decide activism, it matters more than law, they're not resigning on that. They're being removed. And that's why this moment feels different, because for once, the system is actually pushing back. Which brings us to the final question.
So President Trump is responding this morning. A short while ago, he warned that he may use the Insurrection Act here in Minnesota. Also, President Trump posted on Truth Social that a federal judge, a Biden appointee, has ruled in favor of the Trump administration for now and will allow the ICE immigrations to continue here in Minneapolis and Minnesota. Back to you guys in New York.
Thank you, Matt. Nice to see you. Matt Finn there keeping warm in Minneapolis. Jonathan Fay, he's the former acting ICE director. Sir, welcome back here. How does this end?
Thank you.
Or does it anytime soon?
It seems like what President Trump posted today about invoking the Insurrection Act seems to be the way this is going, and that's the way it will end. And just to invoke the Insurrection Act, he just has to make a determination that is impractical to enforce federal law because of the obstructionist activities. And I think that's apparent just by the reporting you just had. And you have people like Tim Walz, the irony of him saying they don't want chaos when he is seemingly doing everything he can to sow chaos, to cause division, to encourage people to subvert ICE in their mission. It's really shameful, but I think we're going down the road of the Insurrection Act because Governor Walz is not going to step up to his responsibility and get his streets safe so ICE can do their job. And remember, ICE is enacting the laws passed by Congress, or not enforcing them. They are doing something inherently democratic, and Tim Walz and Jacob Frey and others are trying to prevent that. So it seems like only one road to go at this point for President Trump, and I think he's on to this, that we need this to stop, and immigration enforcement is going to continue.
Governor Walz yesterday gave this address. He's certainly not looking for a climate.
Yeah, the Insurrection Act. Why am I struggling to say insurrection? Yeah, that act isn't about control. It's about restoring it, actually. when federal law can't be enforced, when local leaders refuse to protect the agents, when chaos becomes policy, Constitution has a fail-safe, basically. Now, Minnesota, they didn't just lose control overnight. We've been watching this develop, and they lost it slowly, one excuse at a time. You know, this is what happens when they treat law as optional, borders as imaginary, and enforcement is treated like oppression. I was going to say slavery, but yeah. You don't have to like Trump to see what's happening here. You just got to be honest, man. And I'm going to go ahead and be honest and say I fumbled a lot of my words today. But it's okay. Because, you know, we ain't perfect. I'm grown. I know how to read. I just, you know, need to get some thicker glass. I need some goggles. Now, if you made it all the way to the end, I want you to comment, cross the line. Sure, we may have put it in previous videos, but we don't care about that. In this particular video, if you made it to the end, I want you to write that so I know who's paying attention. Now, again, that phrase is crossed the line. I want to make sure I say it a little slow and make sure I emphasize this for everybody to say they heard it. Anywho, y'all be safe. Go check out a friend today. And go ahead, literally be saving their life. Peace.